Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Megan, and this channel is all about the Immanuel approach, which is simply a way that anyone can use to perceive the living, loving, tangible presence of Immanuel, who is God with us all the time through gratitude and appreciation. And I am delighted to welcome you to part 2 of an incredible demonstration of walking through the heavyweight card. A couple weeks ago, I was able to interview Jane Hyde, who developed this tool after being in a small group conversation that was really upsetting. And they thought we have to be able to do better. And so these 2 episodes, I'm so excited about. If you haven't watched last week's episode, pause and go and watch it because it does walk through the red zone questions. We decided to split it into 2 episodes because it does take time to walk through the heavyweight column. So take a moment, download the heavyweight card so you can follow along. But in this episode, I just want to tell you, Jane shares with me, she opened the vault for me and said that 16 years ago, she was on a really difficult, problematic cross-country move with 3 kids and a dog and hauling a U-Haul. She gets stuck in a parking garage, and she shared in that moment she felt burned up, bitter, inadequate, and then she even added demoralized. And so how do I respond to this? This is a powerful episode. I encourage you to watch it over and over again. We do train through walking through the heavy card, and wait till you see what happens at the end. It's so powerful. So thanks for being here. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be the listener for Jane as she shares. Yeah.
Meg, I was just going to give
Yes.
2 tips
Yes.
for,
Thank you.
for
Please do.
anyone doing this, like very practical. Number one, it's great to have a phone, something to take notes with, pen,
Okay.
paper,
Yes.
parchment,
Okay.
whatever you
Good.
need to be able to write down however you
Thank
do
you.
it, what the person says, capture their emotions so that you
Mhm.
can reflect back accurately.
I love that. Yeah.
And number 2, and maybe this should be number 1, is this, and I don't mean for this podcast, but doing this takes time. And so
Yes.
I would just say to people, if you think, we got 10 minutes, let's knock this out. My wife needs to be heard about this. It sort of won't work. And I'll just say, Jane and
Mm.
I, we are different, right? God made us differently. Um, and it is surprising. I know we mentioned last time we had a 6-hour one of
A
these,
6-hour session.
and not everyone is 6 hours, but
No.
I'll just say it does kind of require setting aside some
Yes.
unhurried, focused time with whoever it is you're
Yes.
doing it
Yes.
with for it to be meaningful. And I think mostly for the sender to
Hmm.
feel safe
Yes.
that, okay, I have space here
Yes.
to go slow, to look at what do I feel, to not be
Hmm.
hurried about that.
Hmm.
And the listener has the space to go, okay, I need to take my time and go, what's the
Yes.
next thing? Right. So anyway, enough said.
Thank you.
Time, that,
So good. So good. I love that not rushing, not rushing because people can tell. People can tell if you're like, okay,
Which
so
is the
thank you.
opposite of being fully
Right.
present,
Being
right?
fully present.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I just remembered we had said this before we started recording, but another thing you mentioned is to make sure that your relational circuits are on. And so one of the ways you guys mentioned doing that is kind of doing the on the listener's card, the lightweight column. And we won't do that this time because we've been chatting and our relational circuits. Let's check. No, no, they're on.
every time
Definitely.
I'm with you guys, I'm like, ding. So that is a really good tip, that just to make sure that your relational circuits are on, and it's appreciation. And that's why you would walk through um, the late white. See, lightweight.
Lightweight. Yes.
Exactly. So, would you be willing to open the vault prompt for me
Yes, and it is at the bottom
at
of the feelings vault. It's
mhm,
also at the top left
at the
of the
top
weight
of, yeah,
card. Yeah,
yes.
but so it, I might have pretend it was 16 years ago or even now, and the story came up and you recognized, Meg, that it holds some power, that it has some emotion around it. By
Hmm.
the way, I've
Hmm.
told you maybe a blip. But so yes, so I'm going to
Yep.
open the vault by saying 16 years ago,
Okay.
um, after I had made a really problem filled cross country move with my kids and a dog, and Rob was deployed. Um, when I got stuck with a U-Haul behind my car at the top of a parking garage, the top level of a parking garage, I felt
Mm,
uh, burned up, bitter, and inadequate.
mm,
Mm. And I have to throw in the fourth one there. I'm breaking the rules.
that's
Um,
okay.
just demoralized.
Demoralized.
Yeah.
Yeah, demoralized. Hmm. Wow.
Hey, we made it through the red zone.
We made it
You're ready.
through the red zone. I think I am ready.
And I think I said this in the last time we met, but if people do nothing at first but understand why these questions shut people down, reduce intimacy, reduce the opportunity to be known and to know and be known, um, prevent getting to the place of peace and calm and connection where there is collaboration and curiosity and compassion and ability to see other perspectives, etc. If that's all they learn at first from the weight tools, that's a huge
It's a
shift.
huge shift.
And
Yes.
we often say we're going to ruin you to regular conversations, because when
Yes.
you start noticing other people doing it to you or to others, you're watching this in a conversation, or you recognize it's coming out of your mouth and you go, oh,
Yeah, and you're
Right.
like, oh.
yeah, I mean, it's really, really eye-opening, and it's
Yeah.
disconcerting at first
Yes.
and a little
Yes.
frustrating, because
Hmm.
you're like, is this all anyone ever does? Because it's probably 80% of conversations that are
Yeah.
anything about emotion that have emotion behind them, whether they're spoken and acknowledged or not. And
Yeah.
you see how we shut each other's down, and you become sensitive. And some people would think this was bad until you realize the value of it. You become sensitive to how that makes you feel for someone to
Yeah.
ransom you. You
Yeah.
feel that internal door shut, or that
Hmm.
distancing away from that
Hmm.
person, or
Hmm.
I'm just going to be quiet. I'm not going to say anything else.
Right. Why
You know,
why try? Yeah.
why try?
Yeah.
And even
Exactly.
if that's sort of unconscious, you're bringing that into conscious awareness and naming it, and
Yeah.
it becomes like a little overwhelming. I think in the
Yeah.
beginning, oh my word, wow, okay, I have to learn to do it differently. Which is why
Hmm.
we were like, we need a tool, because if I don't say these things, what
Yeah.
do I say? Like you said before, what is the thing I say next?
Yeah. 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 That's why I think it's such a valuable tool to help us become aware of how we are with people in the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know? It's really so powerful. So powerful. Yeah. Um, so right at the top of the heavyweight column, I really love this. And I know you shared, and I will, go back to that, but um, just taking that breath, leaving the quiet space, slowing down, making eye contact, and with your heart and your mind, join them in their story. And that is a starting point when someone has shared with you, like, this is what happened, you know? So, yeah, so thank you for sharing your story from 16 years ago. I am glad to be with you no matter what. If that's all you want to share, I can just be with you and offer support. But would you like to explore this more together now?
And can I interject here? No, you may
Do
have to split this up into red zone and in the
yes,
heavier
exactly.
side or whatever.
Yeah.
But this question really is the same as the question that's sort of out there in this world of, do you want comfort or solutions?
Yeah.
Are you looking for more, or do you feel maybe they're already calm enough, maybe you misread, or you're just asking, you're honoring the fact that you don't fully know everything that's going on inside them as the listener. Maybe they already feel regulated enough and they want to skip to support.
Yes. Yeah.
What does support look
Yeah.
like? No, I really am fine. Can we talk about solutions?
And
Yeah.
that's why there's the asterisk that says they may say, I don't really want to explore it more.
Yeah.
Asterisk, go to step 7. Okay, well, what does
Go to step
support look
7.
like?
Right. What does support look like? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
I
an
like that.
authentic question. And
Yes.
I would love to explore this more with you, because I do feel in some ways that I never fully processed
Fully
this.
processed. Yes.
Among we could do the whole series of parking garage trauma events.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. And I am strong enough and calm enough to welcome your heavy emotions. I won't judge or condemn you. Your feelings just are. And I love that. Your feelings just are. Yeah. Yeah. So would you share more with me?
Yes. Okay. So now I'm going to tell the story with some details so that
Yes.
you
Yes.
can enter in with me more, right?
Yes.
Um, Rob was deployed. We made a move from um, Albuquerque, right? Albuquerque, New Mexico, here. And fortunately, my sister-in-law, Rob's sister, helped me because we had 2 vehicles to move, one pulling a camper, one pulling U-Haul, 3 kids, and a dog, a large 75-pound dog, golden retriever. And so many bad things had happened just in that, literally pulling out of the driveway and arriving
Mm,
here in Virginia.
mm,
So many bad things had happened, so many problems. And my
mm.
sister-in-law was there, which was great, but I'm alone in a car because kids all wanted to ride with her, probably because mom was tense.
Yeah. Yeah.
They rode with her, and I'm in the vehicle by myself pulling the U-Haul. And we had arrived here. We dropped the camper off at the house, and then we were in a hotel, and the dog, but we were in a hotel because things weren't all ready at the house yet. And we got to, I still had the trailer, the U-Haul attached to my vehicle, and we got to the hotel, which is in a kind of a urban area. So there's a parking garage for the hotel, not a parking lot. And I realized
Mm,
when I got up to the entrance of the parking garage, I'm like, where am I going to turn around? Because you can't, in a parking garage,
mhm.
there's not room for something being pulled behind a car,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
not usually space for that. And I thought, okay, in a parking garage, you can go up or go down usually, and then there's an end. And a lot of times that end is a loop
Mhm.
that has an exit, or at least a space to turn around. So I got out of my vehicle, I went in, and I asked the hotel clerk at the top of this parking garage, and I explained to him, I'm pulling something behind my car. at the top of this
Yeah.
parking garage. Is there an exit? Does it loop? Is there space for me to turn around? And he said, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is. Well, guess what?
Oh no.
I pull all the way through the parking garage because I'm going to go to the top and find a place to turn around and find a place to park up there because I figured there would probably be more space up there. And there was not. As a matter of fact, it was basically like a cul-de-sac, complete dead end with a row of cars on each side and a dead end and one aisle. And this entire length was definitely no longer than twice the length of my combined car and U-Haul. And so I pulled in and I'm like, even if I backed up, I'm having to back down a curve, right? I'm having to do this to
Yeah.
go
Yes.
down the curve back. And I mean, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
I
so
hear
the
you.
feelings, because share more of when I was burned up at the guy for telling me,
Yes.
because one of the themes of my life, if you were to know me well, is trying to keep bad things from happening. So I had already predicted, okay, this could be a real problem.
Yes.
We'd had so many problems on the trip that I was
Right.
hyperventilating
Already.
problems. I went in to try to prevent this problem from happening by asking the quote expert, someone who worked at the hotel, is this
Hmm.
a pull through? And he had blown me off. He either didn't know and didn't have whatever within him to say, I don't know, let me check. Or, he blew off the importance of what I was asking him. He didn't
Hmm.
listen well,
Hmm.
right? And so
Hmm.
I felt dismissed and I
Hmm.
was
Yep.
burnt up and hostile at him. And then I was just absolutely desperate for what was I going to do.
Yeah.
And I actually got out of my car. I parked it right there, turned it off. I went back down to the hotel lobby and I told him, you told me this, and now I
Yeah.
am stuck up there. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It was like, okay, what am I said, you need to come help me because I'm not good. I didn't have good backup skills with hauling
Yes.
U-Hauls. I
With a
didn't have that
U-Haul.
skill. Yeah. And
No.
that's really difficult if you haven't done that very much. And I said, you've got to come help me do this. And he said, well, I can't leave the front desk. I was like, but you caused this problem. You're
Right.
the reason I'm in this bind. And then of
You're
course
the,
just
yeah, yeah.
well, I should have walked
Oh,
up there myself and looked or something. So feelings that I felt, or is
yeah.
that a
Yep,
question I
you're
should
good,
let
dude.
you ask me?
Yep.
Okay. I felt aggressive toward
Aggressive.
him.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
was bitter about that and burned up, indignant, outraged, ticked off, all of those angry feelings toward him. Also, there was kind of ticked off at God. All these
Hmm.
bad things have happened, and I'm at the end of my trip, and my sister-in-law and the kids were in the hotel getting ready for bed, and so I was by myself because she couldn't really leave them. Um, I was by myself, and I felt defeated
Hmm.
after all these problems. For 3 full days, nothing but problems. Just about, I felt defeated, forsaken, and deserted. Uh,
Mm.
God, what?
Yeah.
What the crud, right? Where
Right.
are you? And couldn't you help me out here a little bit? I felt lost. I felt
Mm.
self-pity.
Hmm.
I felt absolutely worn down and exhausted. I was totally exhausted at this point.
Totally.
And I knew what I was going to have to do. I actually threatened, I told the man at the desk that I was just going to park the car right where it was. And that when all these people woke up in the morning and tried to leave their parking spaces, they wouldn't be able to leave. And I threatened that.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I'm a responsible adult. So I knew that probably wasn't what I was going to do. So I knew what was ahead of me in trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
solve this.
Right.
Um, it felt powerless,
Yeah.
uh, just because I was so unskilled. Um,
Mm.
and the whole trying to prevent this bad thing from happening, and then
Trying
taking
to, yeah.
action to do it, right? And then it's still happening to me anyway. I was
Mm-hmm.
humiliated, honestly, and I was humiliated
Mm.
that somehow I had still not prevented this. I could have, I could have walked up the stairs, taken the elevator or
Mm-hmm.
whatever myself and checked it out myself and not trusted what anyone
Mm-hmm.
said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
I felt inadequate, that I didn't have the skill, even though I was hauling this U-Haul, that I really wasn't, you know, I was functioning outside my above my level of skill, to be managing U-Haul. There was dread about knowing I was going to have to back out, get up, back out, get up. That was going to
Yes.
take, 500
Oh,
tries
oh
of
my
doing
goodness.
to
Yeah.
back down from the parking garage. I was a little frantic,
Yes.
especially because it was late and I was exhausted. And I was like, how is this going to end? I felt overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah. So those are some of the emotions.
Some of the, yeah.
And
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
um, often in step 3, when you say, would you share more? And she kind of gives you the background, or the center gives background, and then were you feeling other emotions? You know, Jane is sort of wired, she knows how to do this. And so she didn't just give you the emotion, she kind of unpacked,
Yes.
more about that. But it's often the case that someone will just give you the words, and then
Yes.
sort of the reflection is, so you said you felt, bitter towards the guy. Do you
Mm-hmm.
want to tell me more? And so Jane's sort of already done that for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Which is good. No,
Yeah.
it's so good. Um, so looking at the card, um, would I go to 4 now, summarize and reflect, or
You would stay at 3.
stay at
Every one
3?
of
Okay,
those is just like an
gotcha.
individual bit.
Yes, perfect, perfect. So I feel like I heard what it was like for you. Was there any, how was your body feeling it?
And can I, so
Yeah.
um, you feel like you heard what it was like for me, but as a coaching tip, I would say
Ah,
don't assume.
don't assume. Good
Go ahead and
point.
ask the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. What was it like for you? I'm so glad you this is what is so powerful about this.
Yeah, and it's good because I mean you asked that and literally I have emotion come up, even though we're, training in between and all of that. And I'm like,
Exactly.
it was just
Mm,
it was devastating. It was
mm,
and I get mad at Rob because he's not there. In these
yeah.
moments, I get so mad at Rob when I couldn't open the lid to a jar and he was gone. And so this one
Mm,
was just, yeah, I guess I felt abandoned by everyone,
yeah. Yeah.
whether that made sense or not. Um,
Mm,
just demoralized, humiliated. That experience was, it was in some ways a top tier. It was a moment that obviously 16 years later still
mm,
holds um, a lot of
yes.
power for me. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
hate parking garages. And this is one of the many stories I have about parking garages.
Mm,
And what I
mm-hmm,
have found is, and the reason I knew when Rob brought it up last night that it would be helpful, is that my anxiety over parking garages has increased over the years and
mm,
not
mm,
decreased. And
decreased.
so
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
doing this, hopefully we're going to take a little power out of that. And I might also do an Immanuel session about it.
Yeah.
But this is a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
start. So I kind of
Yes.
went beyond what was that like for me. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was a terrible, devastating, lost,
Mm, mm,
lonely, defeated,
mm-hmm,
inadequate, yeah,
mm, yeah.
experience.
Mm. And how was your body feeling it?
And there was, so many emotions, but yeah, I get the pit in my stomach from the
Mm-hmm.
defeatedness. Oh,
And
yes.
you might want to look on the back with the
Yes.
felt sensations
Yeah,
part.
I'll actually use that quick. Um, oh, okay. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Oh, I felt crushed under the weight of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just crushed. Like, this load is heavier than I can bear. It's already been so much, and now this is just like the piano falling on my head, kind of
Yeah.
feeling after everything else. Um, just a tight chest, but
Mm-hmm.
also just depleted, slumping over, like nothing has gone right, and there is no aid. Literally, I asked, the man for help, and he would not come and help me. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I felt stuck,
Stuck. Yeah.
literally and figuratively. I just felt stuck and nauseated. And then there was also the anger around it. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel it in my cheeks, but that anger is mixed with shame. That
Mm.
somehow, as a grown woman, this shouldn't be so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it felt a little bit like, the woman driver that every man makes fun of. Not every man, but, just the stereotype of I'm a woman, I can't do this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
I felt that shame in my cheeks along with the anger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Red.
In your cheeks. Yeah. Mm. I'm just writing some notes because I want to catch this. Hmm. So, how do you feel about feeling this way?
Mm, probably one of the answer. Were you going to say
There
something?
you go.
One of the answers to that is the shame that I've already
Shame.
mentioned. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm feeling angry and defeated and abandoned, but then the fact that I even feel those things causes me to feel shame and embarrassment. Yeah,
Embarrassment.
and the
Yeah.
humiliation that I can't handle this. And I'm a little embarrassed that I've made a scene, with the desk clerk,
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, and that I threatened what I did. So it might have been what I had to do, uh, but I didn't. So yeah, so I think embarrassment, shame, humiliation,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then one more,
Yeah.
determination.
Mm. Mm. Determination.
I was going to do
Yeah.
what I had to do to be a responsible adult
Yeah.
and get my car and my U-Haul out of the way of other people's
Mm-hmm.
places.
Mm. Yeah.
That was a tiny little part of it.
Yes. Yes. Mm. And does part of you feel differently? And you might want to, because that one is such an interesting question.
Yes. And
Yeah.
and again, I probably jumped ahead.
Mhm.
That the
Mm.
determination
The
is the part of me
determination
that felt
is
differently.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Because,
yeah.
okay, no one's going to help me. No one's coming to my aid. I feel weak and
Hmm.
I can't do this well, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to find a way. If I have to call policemen to come help me or, whatever, I'm going to find a way and make it
Yeah.
happen. And so that
Yeah.
is the part of me that felt differently.
That felt differently.
Did you want to speak to that question
Yeah,
itself?
but only when you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that question, I think, is very often a powerful question for the sender, um, and maybe a couple of things. I'm sure more than that happen, but one, sometimes if they're introspective, they will say, "No, I, I think I really have given you the part. I do feel that way. I can't
Hmm.
recognize another part." Sometimes it's it's a little bit like question 5 on the lightweight side of where in this story were you your best self? It's not the same
Hmm.
question,
It's not
but
the
it can
same.
both. Jane essentially said, but there was this other part of me that was my word, strong, right? I was determined to do it.
Yeah.
And you could see in her, it was, you can see in me, it's a recognition of the strength of a
Yeah.
fantastic human that is
Yeah.
no longer mortal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
And sometimes the caution is occasionally, whatever the context is, someone will experience this question as an invitation to spiritually bypass and go,
Yes.
well, what the
Yeah.
listener is asking me this question because they want me to go, well, I know Jesus was with me, or whatever. So we have to be sensitive to that. And if we get that kind of answer, to go, that's, I just want you to know, I'm not asking you to put a positive spin on this.
Put a
It's
positive spin, right?
A genuine
Yeah.
question. Would you sit with it for a minute and just see if there's any part of you that authentically feels differently
than, because what you said was, I felt shame, embarrassment, humiliation, and I also felt this determination. So that I'm glad we're clarifying this, and I feel the emotion as well. I'm so glad we're parking here, because it's not an opportunity to bypass. It's actually to say, and also I felt like I can handle this, or whatever it is. Not that you said that,
I'm
but,
going to handle
or
this.
yeah,
Mhm.
like I really appreciate that clarification, because that one can trip people up. I know it has tripped me up too. I'm like, do I feel differently? I'm not sure, but so thank you for kind of expanding that for
Because
us.
if I hadn't felt determined, I would have had to leave the car there.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
and then in the morning, let them come knock on my door and go, hey, your car's in the way, and go, yeah, because I gotta have
Yep.
help,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
which certainly would have been a course of action and option.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that determination changed what was it like my best self to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Meg,
Exactly.
just since we have the break,
Yes.
the word optional. So this next question, I think you will ask, but I'll just say we put it as optional.
Yes.
I think just why is it optional? Because it is a deeper level question.
It's an intimate question.
It's an intimate question. So I think it's to some extent up to the listener to go, do I want to go there?
Yes.
And
Yep.
then it would be up to, and I'll just say I'll stop. You can ask it of Jane, and she can decide, does she want to answer that?
Yes.
Share to your
Exactly.
level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over.
Share
Thank
to
you.
the level of your comfort. Exactly. And yes, so I appreciate that. And so, yeah, have you felt this way before?
Mm. There are definitely, although sitting here right now, specifics aren't necessarily coming to mind. Maybe they will as I
Yeah.
verbalize, but I have had a lot of experiences of feeling that my concerns were dismissed, of feeling that I'm trying to prevent something bad from happening and no one will listen to me. And then the bad thing happens. And the powerlessness of that, the frustration of feeling like I do have some spiritual capacity, sort of sometimes, unfortunately, to see how things might be going awry, in a situation. Predicting that a little bit, and I'm not always right, but when people ignore it and they go on and then something, rupture happens or whatever it is, is so defeating. And then you have a layer of and parking garages.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just feel I have so many experiences of feeling like someone was out to get me in parking garages. From when we moved to DC and I didn't know that you had to pay cash. This was kind of before, current technology. You had to have cash. They wouldn't take a credit card or check, and I didn't know that. I got myself in a
Mm-hmm.
situation, just so many different things that I could name. So there's the familiarity of the parking garage is my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So that it
Mm-hmm.
causes anxiety literally when I have to park in a parking garage. And
Mm-hmm.
then this whole other thing of trying to prevent bad things from happening,
And
Yeah.
not being listened to,
not being
just,
listened to.
yeah.
Not being listened to. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
And
Mm.
these get at core issues, right? And core values or
Yes.
lies,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that, that my perspective doesn't have value.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge.
Mhm.
I'm just going to write that. My perspective doesn't have value.
And
Mm.
sometimes, this is a lens. People are stupid. People are
Yeah.
not competent. People are not trustworthy. I have
Yeah.
to do it all myself kind of uh,
Yeah.
lens.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
becomes part of my worldview, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm. So moving on, if that's okay with you, to number
Yes.
4.
And
Yes.
just to
Yes.
reiterate,
Yeah.
people tend to, because there are questions in a row there, they'll tend
Yes.
to want to just read the first question and then skip to the next number.
Yes.
But
Okay.
Rob said those questions and number, was that 3?
3.
Those
3.
questions in number 3 are all so important and so
Yes.
helpful and significant to ask. Again, the
Yes.
way card is very dense. Read every word. Read
Read
every
every
word.
word. Yes. Yes. Read every word. So I
Okay, now
just, yeah,
All the italics.
all the italics. Okay. So we're talking about number 3.
Yeah, and you did it.
Yep.
You did great on number 3. Awesome.
yes,
Yes.
you did it.
Okay.
I was just reiterating
Okay.
that for
Just for no matter, like, you just keep following. Yeah. I love that. Okay.
And
Um,
sometimes I'm going to go back just for a second.
yeah.
When the sender early on in 3, let's say Jane gave you 28 feelings, right?
Yes.
And then you start at the top and go, okay, tell me more about you felt better, and she tells you something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
is there more? Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next, you said you were desperate. Tell me more, and she tells you. Now let's
Gotcha. Okay.
you get through, and I mean she did all of that. That's
Yes.
great. But sometimes you'll get to a word, and you as the listener might think, well, 3 words ago we said angry, and this one is she's ticked off. So it might be reasonable to say, well, okay, you said you were ticked off, but we covered anger above, so you
Mm-hmm.
just want me to go
Mm-hmm.
to the next one. Do not do that,
Do not do that. Right.
because she gave those words. Let the sender determine, because those
Yes.
words might be very different for whatever reason in her mind, brain, body, and ticked off might have meant one thing, and angry she might want
Anger.
to talk a different.
Yeah.
So just kind of the principle is always let the sender determine if it's duplicative or not.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we did
Yeah.
this a few days ago, and Jane, or kind of prepping for this, and Jane was like, yeah, no, that's good. Enough said.
enough about that
I've
category.
covered that one next.
Right. Right. Okay. That's helpful. That's helpful. So let the sender,
Yeah.
even if they're similar words, feeling words, the sender, yeah, and we can explore, is there more, or tell me, I like that
Yeah.
question, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more about that. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Well, Jane, thank you for sharing. What I am hearing is 16 years ago, you made a problem-filled cross-country move with 3 kids and a dog and a U-Haul and a camper. And you got stuck on in the parking garage. And what you shared is you felt burned up, bitter, inadequate, and demoralized. So I have a question here because we explored this. You shared so much more. Do I continue sharing exactly what you shared with me further into it, or just the brief part of the what you initially shared?
So I think my best answer is what you just did. I think is great. You're summarizing because in
Summarizing.
step
That's right.
three,
Yes.
each of those little R's was you've been
Yes.
reflecting, you reflected the emotions.
Reflecting.
So you felt this.
Yeah.
And I didn't let
Yeah.
you do that.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And so here, this is your essentially uh, ingestion and
Of
synthesis back to
okay.
her. Your
Yeah.
summary,
What?
here's what I
Yep.
heard. And
Yes.
in your summary, and then I know you're about to read it, did I get that about right? She might
Yeah.
say, well,
Well,
you
yeah.
didn't, there's this other part. Okay, good. And then
Yep.
you reflect that back.
Perfect. Because I that was initially what I wrote, but I heard so much more.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I was like, oh, but I actually want to reflect more. So if that's okay.
Yes.
And so Rob was deployed and Rob's sister helped you, but so many bad things happened on this trip. Um, and what I heard from you was that you try to prevent bad things from happening and even asked the hotel clerk, like, is there place for me to turn around in this hotel? You knew immediately, like, this is going to be problematic with the U-Haul. You were by yourself. And yes, 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 he says. And you find out that it's like a dead end. There is no way for you to turn around. Um, and you were burned up at the clerk because you felt like he blew you off. Um, you felt dismissed and hostile, um, desperate. You were desperate, right? And um, aggressive, bitter, outraged. You were ticked off at God because you're by yourself, you know, defeated. There were all these problems. You felt forsaken, lost, um, worn down, exhausted, and even some self pity. Um, you did kind of threaten what was going to happen to the hotel clerk, but you felt powerless and unskilled to be able to fix the situation. And you were trying to prevent this whole thing. And you tried to prevent it, and it still happened, which led to you feeling humiliated, you know, inadequate. And I think you even said, like, I could have checked it out, and you didn't. So you felt inadequate. Um, you didn't have the skill to back the car down. And there's this dread. Um, you feel frantic. And because it's so late, you're exhausted, overwhelmed, because this has been a long trip of a lot of problems. um,
Yes.
yeah, it's devastating. It's devastating. Um, you felt abandoned by everyone, demoralized, humiliated, I said, lonely, inadequate. And in your body, you felt like a pit in your stomach. Um, you mentioned feeling crushed, like this load is heavier than I can even bear. A tight chest, depleted, um, literally stuck and figuratively stuck. Um, and I can't read my writing, but it was like nauseated. You felt nauseated, um, anger mixed with shame. because I think you said as a grown woman, this shouldn't really be hard. And you felt that in your cheeks. Um, so you felt the shame, you felt embarrassment over even making a scene, humiliation. And then there was a part where you felt that determination. No one's helping me, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, right? Um, and that sense that the feeling that your concerns were dismissed, that no one was listening, you were trying to prevent this bad thing from happening. And you felt powerless because it didn't, things might be going awry. You actually think you have you have a sense that when things are going to go awry, and it feels very defeating when people don't pay attention to that and don't
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
especially in parking garages.
Yeah. And even coming down and telling him, here's the
Right.
situation I'm in. Do you not get the gravity of it? Do you not
Right. Do you not
understand
understand?
the
Yeah.
predicament that I'm in and how everyone else's car is at risk? Right?
Right.
I can
Right.
hit 15 cars trying to get down, with the U-Haul going the wrong way behind me.
Right.
And,
Right.
that person was just like, essentially that's your problem, not mine.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I can't help you. And I'm
Oh,
not going to do anything to try to help you. I'm not
I'm
going to
not gonna
ask
do,
someone
yeah.
to, it's like, I'm the only one here in the hotel. But no
Wow.
collaboration or whatever. So
Right.
very alone, not heard,
Alone. Yep.
and no one
Yep.
sharing
No
my
one's sharing.
panic,
Yes.
right?
You're,
Yeah.
yeah. And try, how am I gonna get out of this situation? I don't even have anyone who's like noticing the gravity of the situation, um, not being listened to. Wow, that your perspective doesn't have value, you know. And I think you said someone is out to get me in parking garages. It's like parking garages are your enemy. That's how it feels. Like it's because there's more that has happened to you in parking garages. This is one of many stories. Um, let's see. I'm gonna do it all myself, because you have to, you know, because no one is there coming to join you to help you. Um, did I get that right? Did I get that about right?
You really did, Meg. And
Yeah.
and I don't know if you were able to see just in, looking down and looking up, but seeing your mirroring and this going back and forth between us of me
Mm,
feeling
mm,
felt and feeling that
mm,
you understand
mm,
all of those
mm,
emotions. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Good. And I love this next question. Well, is there more? Is there more that you want to share?
No, I think that's pretty full.
Mm, 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 mm. So I feel the weight of this with you, Jane.
Can see that.
Um, and as I see this through your eyes, my heart feels, yeah, I feel so much empathy with you. Yeah, I feel compassion for what you experienced. I actually can feel what you experienced, and I feel some emotion coming up in me as I'm like even reflecting back. I was like, that's that's a lot. That's how I feel. I feel like my heart feels like this is too much. This is too much for one person, to handle. So I can feel what you experienced. Do you feel seen and heard?
I do that mirroring, and honestly, you introduced something new that uh, is really revelatory to me. You said, I feel compassion toward you. And
Mm,
this was 16 years ago before I was aware of
yeah.
validation and empathy were even a thing. I didn't even hardly
Yes.
know what those words meant.
Yeah.
And I realized that now, instead of feeling shame
Mm,
or embarrassment or humiliation, that, or I might have felt those, but now I
yes.
would be able to sit there in my car and go and validate and empathize with myself and have
With
compassion
yourself.
toward myself
Yeah.
and go, it makes sense that I feel all these things and not
Totally.
feel the shame and humiliation of that. So you're saying that, essentially was, as I listen to you, I also feel you added the word
Mm,
I hadn't said. And
mm,
that is, I'm like, yes. I mean, there's so many things about that realizing that now I would have that seemingly little word that would change, and it would help me feel, this word determination probably has some positive things and some negative things, right? As
yeah.
far as
Yeah.
some fleshy things and some, yes,
Mhm.
strength, yes, but also I'm independent. I'm going to do this myself without anybody, and now I would be aware that the Lord was with me in it, et
Mhm,
cetera. So
mhm.
there would be
Yes.
recognizing the growth of how that would be different now. All of
Yeah.
that, in an instant when you said compassion, all of that
Compassion.
just kind of tumbled into a different
Wow.
space.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm, that's huge.
So thank you for that.
That's
Yes.
huge. Yes. 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 Mm. And so I just want to say that your emotions are not wrong. You're not crazy. It makes sense that you feel this way. Those feelings that you beautifully expressed, it makes total sense that you feel this way. And is there anything else you would like to share?
No, that just, I'm kind of sitting here stunned going,
Right?
we deliberately didn't play this all out last night because I
Yes.
wanted it to be real authentic emotion.
Yeah.
Even as we're interrupting with training and all that, that I'm just
Yes.
sitting
Yeah.
here stunned going, oh wow, like even sitting here now 16 years later, I can have compassion on
Mhm.
the woman who was stuck on top of the parking garage
Yeah.
and say to
Yeah.
her exactly what you just said to me. It makes
Yeah.
sense that you feel this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Powerful. And as soon as that happens, whoosh, it's like instead of defeated, but it's like the power attached to this negative experience
Yeah.
just evaporates.
Yeah.
And
And I have tears hearing you say that. Literally. I mean, yeah. So, wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's huge. And so this is where we can repeat as long as needed. Is there anything else you'd like to share? We just keep going as long as it where you can feel that feeling felt, feeling validated, feeling empathized, that the listener is hearing you correctly, entering in. So we just, you know, but you said I'm okay with, sharing. You shared, the power of what just happened. Um, but I just wanted to, throw that
yeah,
in that you just as long as the sender needs, you can keep because you just don't know what might be coming up and what might be
yeah,
coming up. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
having unhurried time like this invites the sender to sit with, okay, is there anything else? Like, is there something else niggling, at my
Yes.
brain going, hey, but
Yes.
what about this?
Yes.
But what about this? You didn't mention this part or
You
whatever,
didn't mention.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we often talk about getting on the outside, what's going on the inside, and
Yes. Yeah.
throwing up is a kind of uncomfortable word picture, but it's something everyone can
It's,
relate to, of
yes.
throwing it up. And you get down to where you're still needing to throw up something, and it might be nothing, it might even be a dry heave, right?
Exactly. Right.
But
But you
there's something
want,
else that needs
yes.
to come out.
Yeah.
And at the point at which you feel like, no, I've gotten it all out. And
Yeah.
that is how I
That's,
feel.
yeah. Good. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes. I remember when Nigel pulled the card for me, we had to go back around a couple times because I felt like, oh yeah, there is more actually. There is more. So yeah. Um, so Jane, what does support look like? Um, this is the one that cracked me up last week with my journaling because Jesus was like, you could listen to me because we could pray silently or aloud. We could listen to Jesus together, brainstorm solutions, share similar stories or advice, consider perspectives to name what's true, significant, and good, or something else that maybe I haven't thought of.
For fun,
Yeah,
um, let's listen to Jesus, because I really don't feel like at this point it feels like a fully processed memory, right? Because I'm
good,
already
good.
telling a different story
A different story.
about it,
Yeah,
right? And that
yeah, yeah,
different story would be, 16 years later, I have different and new tools that would
yes,
have helped me then and helps me even now in
no,
retrospect to
yes,
detox this memory, right?
right, yes. Oh,
Um,
such a good word.
yeah, and what
Yeah,
a cool revelation that is.
yeah, yeah. So cool. Awesome.
But
So,
yeah, but I'd love to listen to Jesus together and just see
yeah,
if he has anything else for us.
yeah, yeah,
And I always
exactly.
tell people, and if we don't hear anything or we're not sure it's from him, that's okay.
That's
We
okay.
just
We just listen. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
yeah. And
Yeah.
by the
So,
way,
yes,
the
tell.
so step 7, this question 7 of offering support is again very dense. We probably could do a whole another card, a whole another way to
Yes,
expanding
yes,
7. And so on the back, do we have a
yes.
instruction? On the back of the weight card, as it
Hmm.
is on the website, is the instructions. And there's
Yes.
almost a full column of expanding on what do those questions
What
mean or
each
look
of
like,
them, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
context of this. So there's
Yeah.
some, guidance for listening to Jesus together, etc.
I love it. I love it. So since that's what you wanted to do, um, because usually like with our just bees, we just take a minute and ask Jesus, is there anything you want to say? So is that kind of what
Yeah, we can
you're
take
thinking? Yeah.
60 seconds, a minute, and just listen.
60 seconds. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's do that.
Next time.
Great. Who would like to share?
You want to go? You want to go?
Does the
Oh, is there a specific, maybe there is a specific.
I think the person who you're asking the question around usually goes last.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
here, I'll go, Nick.
Okay.
So I don't make any assertion that this is written in stone from the Lord, but here's what I heard. Some version of, oh, I love this.
I love it.
And how many people in the world, how many people that we know, that you know,
Mhm.
have never had anyone listen to them as intentionally and deliberately and without red zoning about anything as deep as this ever in their life.
Mhm. Mhm.
I bet most of your viewers and listeners have never experienced what you and Jane just did for one another. I bet they have.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I'll just say, wouldn't it be lovely if there was more of this? That's sort of what I heard.
Yeah. Mhm. Thank you. Yeah.
At the
Thank you.
very beginning, when you said, "I love this," were you hearing that from Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, it's interesting. I feel like from him, I feel so satisfied with this video.
That's
I'm
great.
grateful that it feels resolved,
Mm,
Jane, and I'm grateful that it's getting out there.
mm,
That's what I heard.
mm, mm.
So it's a little bit of my, yeah.
I got a sense, and I'm going to go backward, kind of at
Yeah.
the end of the scripture where the people are asking, who sinned, this man or his parents, that that
Mm,
he's lame, and Jesus says, not for any of those reasons is he lame, but for the glory of God. And
mm,
I felt that sense of orchestration that 16 years later,
mm.
that event is for the glory of God.
Yeah.
Go a connection, learning how
Yeah.
to connect,
Yeah.
being known, modeling that, for
Yeah.
others to enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, but that I will never think of this story again without
Mhm.
thinking of this conversation and really the redemptiveness of it and this compassion,
Yeah.
and seeing how far, what the journey that the Lord has had me on, and that I can invite others into as well. The beauty of
Right.
that. Yeah,
Right.
that
Yeah.
was all kind of in
Oof.
the I had.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. I love that we just were able to listen to Jesus together. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you. I love that. And I love that the support questions is expanded on the because that helps, that helps so much. So, but that's why I cracked up when with the journaling, Jesus is like, you could listen to me,
To me.
I was like, you're so funny. He's just funny. He's just funny. But I just still continue to have little tears, of emotion. I think I'm sensing that in you both too. So I feel like this has just been such a sacred time. And I am so grateful,
Us
Jane,
too.
especially to you for being so vulnerable, because I know, I mean, this is a vulnerable thing, and man, I feel so honored and blessed that I was able to be with you in this and demo this with you.